What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is July the 8th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, we have one big one, in my opinion, that could potentially move the market. And that is going to be consumer credit change coming out at 2 p.m. Aside from that though, it is just going to be comments associated to tariffs. So it is fair to assume as well, because of yesterday's volatility, the market has officially priced in Trump's big beautiful bill. And given the circumstances and what I can see right now, people's appetite for risk is very much on the table, and we should be seeing kind of a move in the kind of right direction at least. But right now, you do see Dow slightly down, S&P up 0.19, NASDAQ up 0.44. So recovering fairly well. We did recently just have a little bit of a pullback, but nothing significant. So I think we might be ready to, again, like I said, kind of move to the next level up. Aside from that, getting right to it, SOFI is up 2.49%. They are on a massive tear. A lot of people are starting to look at this. So it's bringing in new investors on a daily basis, which is causing kind of even further FOMO. So yeah, SOFI is kicking ass, taking names, up 2.49%. No fireside chats or anything from them planned. So I think just on a technical standpoint, they are going to be leading the pack. And I believe right now, or even after yesterday, it was the most searched stock. So people definitely are looking at SOFI. Aside from that though, shorts have been somewhat holding on for the last couple of trading days. So last week as well as yesterday, 13.72% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 148 million shares. Logically, I would assume that shorts would be starting to return some shares, but they've acted fairly stupid in the past. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that all does play out. But generally looking at over the last couple of weeks, they have started to get back in, going from roughly 12.84% to where it is now. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Aside from that, with it at 1969, trading between this R3 and this R2, 1925 is going to be a strong support that you just want to watch for that to hold. And then 1985 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And given and comparing, I guess, SOFI to a lot of other growth stocks, SOFI again is kind of leading the pack. Most of the growth stocks right now that are recovering are trading between kind of this R1 and pivot, or even pivot and S1. So SOFI is doing absolutely phenomenal. So let me know your viewpoint, and if you own SOFI or potentially any of the stocks, give yourself a shout out in the comments. Moving on, Wolfspeed, it is up 51% during the pre-market, went up 95% yesterday, and it's just because of them switching CFOs. I don't believe that there's been any official updates associated to their restructuring, just a hell of a lot of optimism, which does overall match with just people's appetite for risk being very much on the table. When it comes down to shorts though, shorts have been also holding on. It kind of peaked at roughly 49%, but right now it's sitting at 44.03% of the free float being shorted, works out to be 67 million shares. So they are hell-bent on assuming that this stock is going to fail the restructuring and just go completely over, full-on bankruptcy. So let me know your viewpoint. So this one is a very high risk, high return play. So any individual out there saying that this is a guarantee, they do not know what they're talking about. Restructurings, as I've kind of stated in the past couple of videos during my pre-markets, they do work roughly around 20, maybe even 25% of the time, but still that's kind of a low number to really bet on. So I think most likely a lot of people getting in this stock is momentum traders, swing traders. So if you are either one of those, just kind of take note of this. 457. Just have that ingrained in the back of your head, because if it is able for whatever reason over the next couple trading days to get above that 457, then this is where things could get very, very real. Looking at the 1 week chart on a side note, for today, it's already above all the key fib levels. On the classic, 364, at least for today, will be a key point to watch for. And if it is able to get above that 364, then most likely you will see that $4 range, as what I mentioned on the 1 week chart. And yeah, that's where things will get very real, because I think at that stage, at the $4 range, this is where shorts might start to just cut losses. Even though technically there's a fair amount of risk associated to the stock, still logically shorts might be returning. Moving on, this is kind of interesting, the next couple of stocks I'm going to be talking on, because BSLK, so Bolt Projects, is up 25%. Down 98% over the last 1 year though. No official news, no SEC filings associated to them today. And so there isn't really anything why they would be up 23.6%. I did kind of pop over here, and they do have a lot of warrants, and given the circumstances of everything, of how their operations is, it is fair to assume that a certain level of dilution is occurring. So maybe that might be the culprit on potentially why it is higher. When it comes down to shorts, obviously they won't play a big part in today, because only 1.1% of the free float's being shorted. Works out to be 11,000 shares. So again, that's not really anything to pay attention to. With it right now at 307, it is trading between this R1 and this pivot. 299 is going to be a strong support. 374 followed by 421 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Like I said, even if a stock is diluting, I know this might be unpopular opinion, you can still make money off of the momentum. You just have to catch it right. So again, I do believe that's kind of the main reason why this one is moving higher. If anyone knows any information otherwise, let me know in the comments below. But definitely this is one of the ones that you do not want to hold in the long term, because dilution usually lasts maybe 1, possibly 2 days, prompts a certain level of new investors getting in. So kind of a momentum play as well. But once that dilution does stop, then usually you see a little bit of a pullback. So that's more of a common type of thing that does play out. So just do your own due diligence with this stock. Moving on, SOUN is like equally not on the same level as SOFI, but it's kicking ass and taking names over the last little bit. So right now it is up 4.92%. No news, no SEC filings or anything like that. What did really start to get people hyped up about this stock is a amended 13G. So Vanguard did increase their position, always a good thing to kind of see. At the same time, shorts are at all-time high numbers. 33.87% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 122.37 million shares. So a lot of people will be starting to talk about a squeeze play, given just the circumstances. So yeah, I do feel a lot of higher highs is coming for SOUN. Even on my Patreon, I did raise my target. I think I put it for 14.50 at least in the short term. Then I gave a long-term price prediction as well. But SOUN on a technical standpoint is really starting to, and prior to even today, was building up some good momentum, showing that it was ready for a breakout. Aside from that though, with it at 1196, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So similar to SOFI, in comparison to a lot of other growth stocks, is doing absolutely phenomenal. So 1141 is going to be a strong support. I don't see that being touched today. And then 1214 is going to be the next strong target / resistance point. So yeah, SOUN's going to be most likely hitting this 1214. And if it's able to close successfully above that, then you can kind of anticipate $14 is going to be hit. And then last but not least, ticker is LTRN, similar to that other stock a couple points ago. This one is up 9.21%. No news, no SEC filings or anything like that. So I think you just have people's appetite for risk very much on the table. At the same time, a lot of companies that have a lot of convertible debt. I didn't actually search this one, but I think just given just what is happening in the market, there is a certain level of dilution that is occurring. So potentially that could be one culprit on exactly why as well. Actually, what I can just do is pop over here and just quickly search it. So as far as this, it has shelf offerings and that's it. So doesn't look like dilution would be the culprit for this one right here. So again, it's just for whatever reason, big money seems to be getting in today, really pushing it higher. It's not heavily shorted, so 3.14% of the free float's being shorted, works out to be 1,000 shares. So obviously shorts, that's not going to be a big thing for them today. When it comes down to this, with it at 343, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. 325 will be a strong support. 347 followed by 360 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So I think there is a lot of good momentum coming out in the broader market today that could also just push this stock to these levels, so 347 and 360. But at the same time, I wouldn't really rule out this 325 to be hit. Most likely throughout the day it could be hit, just bouncing off of that and maybe retesting this R1. But nonetheless, 347, at least in the short term, is going to be that key pivot. You really want to watch for it to get over, hopefully fairly easily. Let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.